welcome back. Today I have another surprise, I say this every time, tutorial for you guys. But I thought I'd mix it up a little bit. I thought I'd do a body painting today instead of special effects kind of. I've been seeing all over Instagram these like drippy skulls. So I wanted to do my kind of take on it. It's a nice, easy, quick Halloween tutorial for you, I guess. But I will just be using water-activated body paints for this. I'm using the Montmartre brand. It is the most cheapest and readily available to me here. It's in most like craft stores. They're a pretty good, cheap like art supply brand. At the moment, this is what I'm running with. 3 very empty white face paint palettes. So I'm gonna see how I go with that. Fingers crossed I do not run out of face paint before I get through it all. But I'm thinking I want to block out my brows for this. So because I'm gonna be painting directly over the top of it, I don't care too much about trying to block out the color. I just really want them stuck down more than anything else. As I am doing this look though, it is now the 1st of October and my first tutorial has already gone live. And I mean, like, I'm slowly getting there, guys. This is going to be tutorial maybe 26 that I have filmed and ready to edit, which I don't know where that time has gone, because when I started this it was like the 1st of August and now it's been about 2 months, and boy oh boy, I feel like I've done not enough. If you did want to see how to properly block out brows though, I do have a tutorial that I'll leave linked down below for you to check out. I'm pretty much just using this little makeup sponge to push down the brows as much as I can to get them as flat, so it doesn't look like this hair's just being brushed up. And that makes sense to you guys? I mean, I am doing this with foundation, but you could of course, because you are only putting face paint over the top, just use a translucent powder. You don't need to make it skin colored. Now I have just a little bit of water in a squeezy bottle for this, and I'm thinking I might do my body first. Take this singlet down. So I'm thinking I'm gonna just do like a half skull like that. And it's gonna be like black to red, orange maybe? We'll see how we go. But I'm gonna start by just lining where I want the black to go, like where the skull is gonna start. So I think if I keep it where my mouth will be, it might sit a little bit nicer on the face. Looks like that's what we're going with. I think that might look a little bit more even once I've blacked it out. It's always better to have like less is more when it comes to water activated paints. I'm not 100% sure how I want this to either be just like a nice transition between the two, or if I want like black drips going on to red, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna leave that how it is for the moment and start on the red on the bottom and then decide. And I definitely do think I want orange on the bottom half of my chest. So I am going to transition from red to orange very shortly. And I think I kind of want this bright fluoro orange. I could be about to make a terrible mistake, but here goes nothing. So when you're ready to actually blend the colours together, just go in with a little bit of the lighter colour on your brush. So when blending into the black, use the red. When blending into the red, use the orange. And just with a little bit of the product on the brush, just go in back and forth. I really don't mind the streaky look. I'm not going for a perfectly blended kind of transition. And then once you're happy with the blend, just go on and paint the skull. So I completely forgot to actually black out my eyes first. So I did end up painting one of them fully white before being like, holy shit, what am I meant to do about that skull eye? So here you can see I'm actually taking it off and then applying black to my eyes just to have that skull shape to them. Now I'd recommend, if you're wanting to wear this for a long period of time, doing one eye at a time, waiting for it to fully dry while keeping your eyes closed, and then putting a little bit of powder on just so it doesn't crease and get watery and smudge and crack. And then just onto the teeth of the skull. I end up doing it wrong and needed to redo it. I'm not sure if I show you in this or not, but I just go in with a little bit of the black face paint and just draw in the rough shape of the teeth. I do realise teeth aren't square, I come back to that, but at the moment that's what I'm going with. I also just put in a couple of cracks around the eyes just because skulls aren't perfect. I also felt like I needed to put black up against the hairline just to make it look like the skull was kind of sitting on my face, not necessarily all one big look, if that makes sense. I just felt like it made it look a lot better. So I decided I wasn't happy with the teeth, so I wiped them off with a cotton bud and then just repainted over the top of it with white, waited for that to fully dry before going back in just with some eyeshadow on an actual brush instead of paint, just so you could smoke it out. I also curved the ends of the teeth to make them look a little bit more realistic, and then applied kind of a shadow where the bone and the teeth are separate. I do just go in with a little bit of white as well and just highlight the actual teeth just because I felt like they got a little bit dark in the process. I'm then just going in and drawing the nose on the skull. I do realize that this is not a anatomically correct skull. I'm just having a bit of fun. You do not have to make it look perfect, guys. Just work to whatever you'd like it to be. If you need a little bit of a shape guide for the nose, think of an upside down love heart as well. That's kind of the shape that I was going for here. And then on top of that, I decided the skull needed to be a little bit more worn and a little bit rugged. So I'm just applying some cracks and chips out of it. One on the forehead, one on both cheeks as well. Just making sure that they look a little bit different, just so it doesn't look too similar. I am just using a really fine brush for this as well, just because I wanted to have really small detail work. And then again, I just felt like the teeth were not popping like I'd wanted them to, so I just went ahead and reapplied some white on top of it. I'm sorry guys, I do jump from process to process. I don't do things in any real order. And then because the skull was cracked, I decided that a couple of teeth needed to be missing just to give it a little bit of a worn look to it. And then onto the fun part, the drips. So this is reasonably watered down face paint, but not so much that they're not going to have a nice vibrant color. So I'm just really stocking up the brushes and letting the water just naturally drip down. I'm also then just going in with a little bit of red to kind of deepen at the top of the drip, just because I wanted to incorporate the red into it as well. I'm then just blending a little bit of red into the black, just so the bottom kind of third of the eye is a little bit red. And then just using the exact same technique, guys, I'm just going in and letting lots of drips kind of happen. I use the orange and then I go a bit of red, and then at the end I apply a couple of black drips. Just be careful that this takes a while to dry because you are applying so much water. It's not going to be a fast drying product. So try and not put your head down or not knock your neck until it is completely dry. If you had a hairdryer, maybe, but you also don't want to sweat because that is also going to screw up the face paints. So just be a little bit wary, guys. And then I just pop on a wig and pin back the sides, and voila, you are finished. So there we have it, guys. This is the finished kind of neon radioactive skull look, I guess. I mean, I don't really know what's going on, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So when placing the drips, guys, I just went under my chin where I knew you wouldn't be able to see when I was facing you guys front on. I mean, it's not very pretty underneath, but you don't really see it. Oh, sorry, I had a hair in my mouth. When it is front on. You could almost turn this into more of like a witch doctor style thing. I feel like there's a lot of looks out there that have witch doctors with like skulls on their head and stuff like that. However, I felt like going in the Halloween theme of black and orange. And I'm actually really happy with the transition from orange, red to black. I didn't think it was actually going to turn out as well as it did, so I am quite pleased with myself, to say the least. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss out on any of the 31 days of Halloween I have coming this October. But I mean, they're almost over. I think, what is there, 4 or 5 days left of 31 days of Halloween. So thank you so much for joining me on this journey, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.